Okay, so now that we're semi-comfortable with looking at polynomials, let's evaluate one.
Evaluate? What does that mean?
It means we're going to plug numbers in, and we're going to see what happens.
Oh, that's pretty easy. I got a calculator. I can just do it with that calculator.
Yeah, you can do it with the calculator. So, let's do, what was that? I don't know. All right. I got a lot of sleep, so I'm like really hyper, I guess. Let's see. Evaluate the polynomial function for the given value of x. What is the value of, the value of x. There we go. I just plug it in. I plug it in everywhere I see the x. So this is kind of like a notation example as well. So let me show you what is going to happen. I'm going to say this is going to be red. So I can say g of x. That's how you say that, first of all. And then we can say g of, and then I put in the negative 12. I put the negative 12 in there. G of negative 12 equals, and then the first thing I'm going to do is say, oh, that's a negative 1 times the x cubed. I burped. But instead of writing x cubed, I'm going to write negative 12 cubed. So it's very careful that I do this. Cubed. And then plus 3 times, well, I'll anywhere I see an x, I'll put parentheses. I'll do that first. And then plus 5 parentheses. So that's the first step. Step 1, replace x's with parentheses. And I kind of already started doing step 2, which is to plug in your x value. So I'm just going to write everything down like that. And then it becomes pretty easy. I just got to do whatever, I get to follow PEMDAS. This part, g of negative 12, that's always going to stay g of negative 12. You can't really do anything with that. This is not multiplication. It's just the way we write g evaluated at x equals negative 12. So, let's take a look at this. Well, I got to do, squeaky chair. I got to do negative 12 cubed. I'll just put that into my calculator. That's the same thing as negative 12 times negative 12 times negative 12, 3 times. And then I'm going to multiply it by negative 1. So let's see what happens. So that gives me a negative 1,728. And then I times it by another negative, and that would be positive 1,728. So I did this, it gave me a negative, and then I did that, times it by a negative, and then it gave me a positive. And then I'll say plus, well, what's negative 12 squared? It becomes positive 144, right? Negative 12 squared is 144 times 3. That's positive 432. And then plus, well, negative 12 times 5. I don't have an exponent here. I do. It's actually 1. Negative 12 to the 1 is just negative 12, though. So I'm just doing negative 12 times 5, which is negative 60. So I'll put a minus 60 there, so it's plus or minus 60. Remember, if you have plus or minus, that's the same thing as just subtracting 60. And then plus 1. Okay, that's very nice. Super easy. All I'm going to do is, add or subtract from left to right. So I'll just type it in all into my calculator. 1, 7, 2, 8. And then I'm going to do plus 432 equals, and then we're going to do minus 60, okay. And then I'm going to do plus 1 equals. That's 2,101. So g of negative 12 is 2,101. That's all it takes to evaluate. You just plug it in, use a calculator. It's okay. That's all. That's it. That easy.